like Kerouac, he drank himself to death in New England. And I'd like to take his hand and say, Jack, man, it's okay. Now he's gone, and we're left to move on without him. The songs howl like beat poets at an arcade, soaking moonlit falls, unbroken plastics inundated art.
Welcome to Talkin VAWLS, episode number 73, brought to you by the Outright Geekery Podcast Network at outrightgeekery.com. Also, we are live right now on YouTube via the S&B Network. Make sure you go ahead and smash that like button, share out the link. Let's grow the live chat for this final game of the season. It's senior night. Is this senior night for Talkin VAWLS? I don't think so. My name is Boogie Bentley.
I'm VAWLS JP.
And I'm Dauber. What's happening?
We are at Talkin VAWLS _pod on Twitter. Search Talkin VAWLS on Facebook. Come find us. Come hang out on social media. We got UT Tanner hanging out in the live chat. Troy Lee is here. Good to see you, Troy Lee. Wayne Shelton's hanging out. Who else we got? Cody Branch, Mark Wilson, Bryant Rockwell says, yeah, Talkin VAWLS. What's up, guys? Thanks for joining us. I know you've already smashed the like button. You guys are the old faithful of Talkin VAWLS. What's up, fellas? Are you is it a sad time of year? Are you sad that football season is ending?
Yeah.
It always is for me. It always is. I anticipate football season more than anything, and then it's like, whew, boom, and it's over. I mean, it's just hard to believe that Saturday's the final home game or the final game of the regular season, and then, you know, at least we get to go bowling. But yeah, it's hard to believe that, you know, that those 3.5 months or whatever roll by as quick as they do.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it Saturday after the Missouri game. How weird this season's been, though, too. You know, it really kind of started out so awful and just not anything like we thought it would, and then kind of grinded through the middle, and now we're sort of peaking. I'm not ready for it to be over. I mean, I know we've got one more Saturday, and then we are going bowling, but man, it just feels like we're turning the corner right now, and I want to play, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8 more.
Talk about how weird the season was. Did you guys see JG's post-game interview?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and how emotional he was, and you know, man, it's messed up talking about the death threats and messages to his sister. But then he, you know, I liked the way he ended it, saying that he's staying at Tennessee, and then he ended it with a "Go Vols." I'm a Tennessee guy. Go Vols. I liked that, but you know, talking about how weird the season was, and him and Pruitt, I don't know that he really alluded to it, but Pruitt, after the game, you know, going back to that Florida game, and apparently he ripped some new ones in that locker room after the Florida game, and the rumor is that he kind of calmed down on the flight home. I love what you hear after that, though. You know, you hear about these players only meetings or these special meetings. Pruitt said he wanted to get his guys together and talk to them before they went home for the weekend because they had a bye week. And apparently that meeting is where we started hearing people leaving the team. And we hear that some of these seniors are buying in, and we see the difference moving forward. And yeah, they lost to Alabama after that. But as far as the mindset of this football team, I thought it was cool to kind of see that inside look, because it's not like Pruitt to really tell you that and let you know that. So I thought it was pretty neat to get that inside look at what happened after that Florida game.
Well, they definitely turned it around for sure. I mean, they definitely have. And you know, when they were talking about some of those players that left the program, you know, I was thinking, well, I mean, it's not like other than what Ignat. I mean, he was really the only one that was really playing, and really the only reason that he was even playing at the time was because Batuli
was sitting.
Yeah, was out. So, you know, I really didn't put a whole much stock into into him leaving and Murphy leaving and Shannon Reed leaving and all that. But I mean, evidently that there must have been something to it, as far as them, just not buying in and bringing the rest of the team down. But I think that you also have to give those seniors a lot of credit. I think certainly Jennings, I'm sure, has just been instrumental in any kind of team meetings, and I think Warrior was the same way. Probably, it sounds like, and Daniel Batuli as well. So, those three, I would imagine, probably just finally just stood up and said, "Hey, either you buy in and you give the effort and you do what the coaches are saying, or pack your bags." And I guess that's probably what it took. So I mean, obviously the turnaround that Nigel Warrior has had is just,
oh my goodness. Yeah,
I mean, it's just hard to even imagine. I mean, wouldn't you love for Nigel Warrior to be like a sophomore right now?
Oh gosh, yeah.
And having him coming back, or even a freshman, because I think if he continues playing like this against Vandy and probably in the bowl game, I'd say that he's worked himself into being drafted for sure. And,
yeah.
Who would have said that? Probably even at the end of September.
We ripped the poor kid to shreds talking about how bad he's played.
Well, yeah. I mean, we were saying that Dale Carter needed a DNA test.
Well, we didn't have to go that far. Some of us
I did.
Listen, I want to jump out here on this whole Garantano getting the, just the death threats, the hate mail. There's fans at both ends of the spectrum. There's your kind of person that will go and watch the game, or person that and then there's your extremists. And I hate the fact that these young kids have to deal with, 40-year-olds giving that much hate and judgment. And don't get me wrong, I've criticized his play, but at the end of the day, he's still a human. He's still
but there's a huge difference in criticizing the play and what you're talking about here.
There is absolutely no call for the type of stuff that he talked about last Saturday after the Missouri game. And, who's to say that some of that didn't play into the things that he was going through and having to process while on the field playing the game. Because we've said it before, he's a cerebral overthinker. He analyzes things. So, here he is trying to play a football game, but also, he could be thinking, oh, I just overthrew the ball. I wonder who's going to, threaten me with this or send a message to my family. I mean, it's just completely uncalled for. And it's a bad look for fans in general, and especially Tennessee fans. I just hate that.
It's just I mean, there's no, you can't validate it, but people are lunatics, man. People are people, and again, it's going back to what you said. There's a difference between criticizing on-field play and death threats. I mean, that's two very different things. But at the same time, even criticizing his play, the kid threw for over 400 yards. One of what, 3 quarterbacks?
Yeah,
right. Peyton Manning. Was Andy Kelly who was the other one? Was it Tyler Bray? Probably
Bray.
Tyler Bray. Yeah. So Tyler Bray, Peyton Manning. That's some decent company to keep. And people are still hating on the kid, and not giving him. And look, he still has to prove it. He still has to go out and take care of business against Vanderbilt. It's we talk about it all the time. It's what have you done for me lately?
But we've said it before though too. He's not going out there and trying to crap the bed and play horrible. I mean, none of these kids are. That they're going out there, the things they go through in the off season, on the practice field, the amount of time and effort they put into their craft, and then to go out there and you look at last year, putting his body on the line, getting absolutely pummeled and beaten, and putting his health and well-being on the line, and then getting criticized to that extent.
What's more impressive, Jarrett Garantano's resurrection, Nigel Warrior's turnaround, or Jawan Jennings coming back after being completely kicked off of the team, doing what he needed to do, and having the senior season that he's had? What's more impressive?
Man, they're all in their own way equally impressive. I think it's almost I would put the whole team turnaround, because it would have been so easy for this team to just pack it in and mail it in the rest of the season after starting off 1-4. I mean, they could have, we were, well, I don't want to say there were some calling for Pruitt to, load the moving van up. He's done. He can't coach. But I mean, it's
Georgia State. Does that?
No,
I mean, it's not been that long ago, fellas.
I know. No, and like I said, that's a fair criticism, and we are seeing Pruitt. He's just now coached his maybe 20th game as a head coach, so it's a learning process for him too. But in my opinion, the turnaround and the gelling of this team and the strength that they've shown mentally to not check out and continue playing, continue grinding, and continue improving. That's the story for me, above anything personal. But yeah, I mean, you look at Garantano, Batuli coming back from an injury, all these guys. I mean, it's been impressive, and they've kind of rallied around each other and fed off of each other, I believe, along with a great job by the staff to keep them united and together as a team.
JP,
sorry, I'm replying back to the live chat going on here. We got some good discussions that's going on there, but yeah, these people that make these threats, I mean, that's just ridiculous.
He missed the whole topic, Dobber. He's 2 topics back because he's in the live chat talking.
We're not talking about the threats.
No.
Well, sorry.
That's 10 minutes ago. Let's address what you're talking about in the live chat though, because it was a good question. I don't even see who you were talking about, but you're talking about the staff and staff shakeup, and so you what are you basing that on? Why do you think we're going to lose some coaches?
Well, there's 2, I think maybe 3 that didn't get extensions last year, so this is the last year of their contract. And I mean, how these assistant coaches are. I mean, they jump around like absolute crazy, and I honestly think that these guys can coach, and and I would hate to probably lose Rocker as far as his coaching, but I'm just not sold on his recruiting.
Well, and that's, I think I've seen Pruitt. I read a little bit about maybe he had some issue with losing the in-state kid,
Hardy.
Yeah, Hardy. And maybe that's, and I think we touched on that a couple weeks ago. Tosh
Lapoe or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever his name is.
At Cleveland. Yeah. And he's worked with Pruitt previously. But another good defensive coach, young coach. I mean, I think there may be some turnover. I don't know. That's just kind of one of those things. You kind of take it in stride as it comes, and if we do lose somebody, you just look to improve. And yeah, especially if it's somebody that, like Rocker, who maybe isn't as in tune to recruiting as some of these other guys. because that's one thing about Pruitt. He is a relentless, dedicated recruiter. I mean,
he has to be.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, that's what it's all about. I mean, that is what it's all about. And you know, I mean, that's how Tennessee is going to be able to take the next step. You know, if Pruitt wants to continue to build on, you know, this late season success, then obviously next year, you know, we can't have the slow start and lose to a couple of teams that we should have never lost to, and build upon that, and then, you know, try again to make this 2021 recruiting class, you know, a top 10, you know, top 5 class. But you're going to have to get those type of kids because, you know, like we talked on here just a couple of weeks ago, even if you finish 14th, 15th, 16th in the nation recruiting wise, that's going to put you about 7th in conference. So, you know, you're already behind
and
everybody else.
Probably 3rd or 4th in the East.
In the East, yeah, you know, behind Florida and Georgia. Mm-hmm. So, you know, but you know, I don't think any of us can expect Pruitt and that staff to, you know, be recruiting at the level that those top teams are right now, just because we haven't showed it on the field. But that's why it's important to, you know, obviously for Pruitt's sake, was to have this turnaround here in the late season. And, you know, currently, you know, what are we on, a 4-game winning streak, I guess, 5 of our last 6. You know, I mean, just absolutely imperative. Because, you know, I mean, we were all sitting here back in September, you know, questioning whether or not he was even going to make it this far, because, you know, we didn't know if we was even going to win 2 ball games.
Well, yeah, I mean, we threw out what if we go win 2 or win 3 games? Is he done?
Yeah. We got some questions about playing in the bowl game. I've seen some of that going on there in the live chat. You know, I think that there's still a lot to be played. Obviously, there's still a lot of games that can be played. I think, you know, most of these people are predicting Tennessee probably in the Gator Bowl, either against probably Iowa or Indiana. Michigan has popped up. I don't know if Michigan falls all the way down to the Gator Bowl or not. Then you know, there's some people saying that, you know, depending on how some of these other games play out, and you know, that Tennessee may even could possibly end up back in Tampa at the Outback Bowl. And I think if they got there, I think that they would be a good likelihood of probably playing like a Michigan or maybe even Minnesota at that point in time. Because Minnesota's still ranked 8th, I think. It's what they are. They're 9-1 or 10-1 or whatever they are. I think they'll be probably. I mean, I think that they'll lose to Wisconsin. I wouldn't be surprised if that kid for Wisconsin don't rush for 250 against them, probably.
Now, let me ask you a question. The way they do bowl games now, are you a fan with the conference tie-ins and all of that?
I'm not because it seems like it's the same teams over and over and over, you know. But now there's been talk on the message boards, and I don't know how true any of that stuff is or whatever, but there's some people I've read claiming that there's some kind of rule that the Big Ten has where they're not supposed to have the same team go to the same bowl within a 5-year period.
So how is that even possible?
Well, I know that's why I don't even
be
know.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, that would knock Iowa out of going to the Outback Bowl, wouldn't it? When did we play them? Was that 15 when we played Iowa, or 14 when we played them? Beat the snot out of them.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I mean, there's so much speculation at this point because, like you said, there's so much that still has to play out in this last week.
Yeah,
to really know.
You know, I had Buddy and I was talking about it at work there the other day. You know, him and I personally, we would rather play like a Michigan or a Penn State, somebody like that, just because of the excitement and knowing that you're playing a quality opponent that's a top 15 programmer or whatever like that, knowing that it's going to be a much tougher game, you know. versus playing like a Indiana or something like that.
Iowa State, something.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine the excitement, the buildup that Tennessee fans would have, after Saturday for a whole month, leading up to that bowl game if they get picked to play Michigan or Penn State? I mean, there's going to be a lot of Tennessee fans that'll travel, a lot that'll travel for that, and there'll be a lot of Tennessee fans that'll travel, whether they're playing whatever bowl. But I just think that the excitement and the buildup, at least for me personally, even though that I understand that there's a higher probability that the Vols would actually lose playing one of those teams versus probably Indiana or Iowa or something, which I was ranked 17th, I think I saw, but I still think Tennessee could beat them. I do.
We've seen that in the last 2 bowl games we've played in, which was Iowa and Northwestern. I think both of those teams came in ranked higher than Tennessee, and I think favored. Were we not underdogs in both of those? And we walked all over them.
I think we were favored against Northwestern. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, right. I was at that game. We absolutely destroyed them.
It was.
that was. Man, I really thought the Vols had turned the corner then. I really thought. Of course, that was in 15.
How many times have you thought that, though? The Iowa game, the Northwestern game, the Texas A&M game, like it just goes on and on and on. That goes back to why I think they need to. Number one, you got to beat Vanderbilt. If you lose to Vanderbilt, you've blown everything you've built over the second half of this season. But I also think it's crucial to win that bowl game. Somebody in the chat talking about, do we think Tennessee will be a preseason top 25 next year? Not if you lose to Vanderbilt or you lose that bowl game. I think if you win both of those, you carry some momentum going into the offseason, but then we'll have to just see how things shake out. But I think both games are crucial for recruiting, for momentum, for this fan base. This fan base needs it. How refreshing has it been to win 5 of the last 6? Take care of the games you're supposed to beat the Kentuckys, beat the Mississippi States, beat the South Carolinas.
No, I sleep a lot easier. It's more refreshing walking on Monday after a W. Life is, the sun shines brighter. The food tastes better. I mean, it's just one of those things, when we're winning and playing like we should, it's a lot easier to wear the orange that's in my closet.
I think that we're a top 25 team right now. I really do. Honestly, I do.
The way we've played, yes, I would agree with that.
I mean, I would take us over Iowa. I'd take us over Boise State. Cincinnati's ranked 19th. Come on.
There's so many teams though that sneak into that top 25 because they don't play anybody.
Yeah,
and that's just college football, and that's why you talk about Minnesota and argue with Robert about that. Minnesota's a good little football team, but what would they be if they went through the weekly grind of the SEC? They're not going to be up at the top like that.
Minnesota would be at best what Tennessee's record is right now.
Middle of the pack. Maybe 8 wins, depending on who they play. Depending on who they play. You got to keep in mind, Tennessee's got to play Alabama every year. But, it just depends. But still, they're a middle of the pack team in the SEC.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's you look at what we did to Virginia Tech in Bristol a couple years ago. That's another team from a soft conference. I tell
you what, they're playing lights out right now. I mean, they're playing some good football.
Yeah.
I would probably take them against, a lot of these teams, Iowa and Cincinnati and Memphis and all that bunch. At this stage of the season right now, I would. But yeah, I would take the Vols against, probably top, from 25th to probably 15, I honestly think that Tennessee would have a real good shot against those
yeah. You give this coaching staff a month. I would like to see what did you guys see the video that the UT Sports dropped with Pruitt and Ansley? talking, I guess, before and during the game.
Yeah,
man, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think people really, give credit for how Tennessee went into Missouri, and I know that Missouri's, that they played some out of conference teams that haven't been very, very good, but, statistically, did I say that word right?
I don't know.
I think I had too many T's in there. Whatever that word is. I'm afraid to say it again now.
Try it. Yeah, let's try it one more time.
Statistically,
there you go.
Yeah, got it. They were sixth in the country in pass defense. I mean, sixth in the country in pass defense. Now I know that I think one of their starting corners was out Saturday, but still, we
talked about it before the game on the pregame show. How worried we were about that defense.
I mean, we didn't even. I mean, we were just throwing it, and I mean, they had no answer. I mean, they had no answer. I mean, if it hadn't been for us, just stopping ourselves, from the 20 to the 20, they didn't stop us at all, and then we started stopping ourselves and kept us like we have all year. The red zone has been the Achilles heel for this football team, but I think anytime that you're able to go into another team's stadium and pass and put up the yardage that Tennessee did, especially against the defense, they sacked Trask 5 or 6 times the week before, and I mean they got Garantano once, and that was his fault for hanging on to the ball too long. And other than that, he hardly even got pressured. I mean, it was just a tremendous performance by the offensive line, as far as the pass blocking goes. Well, Wayne, I agree. We should beat them every single year. I certainly agree with that. I've said that all along. We should be. Wayne's saying that we're giving, I guess, Missouri too much credit, but I'm just saying statistically, they were ranked 6th in the country.
When you're 2-5 against that team since they came to the SEC, that's a pretty good reason to be concerned about it.
Yeah, so
it's kind of like the old Hubs with Florida. I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, really. I'll definitely believe that one when I see it, because I won't believe it any other time. I've sat through some of the best teams in Tennessee history and watched them pee down their leg against Florida, Peyton Manning and Al Wilson and everybody included. Misery.
Let's talk about senior day. I think there's the seniors on this team first and foremost. Well, first we got 58 hanging in the live chat. Make sure you do smash out the like button. It's not too late to share the link. You guys can share it out. 58 people hanging out. We appreciate you guys joining us on this it's not the last Wednesday show. I don't know what you guys are going to do for basketball. We'll have to figure out a schedule. But senior day against Vanderbilt on Saturday. There's a lot of seniors on this team that have been through some stuff, man. They have been through the ringer. And the way this season started, for them to pick it up and turn it around, and guys like Taylor, guys like Jawan Jennings, guys like Callaway, guys like Batuli, when they come through the tee, they're doing it the old school way. They're coming through one at a time through the tee. Which one of these seniors means the most to you guys? Which one of these guys, besides, we know there's Jennings and then everybody else. So let's pick somebody, because we're all in agreement that Jennings would be the guy, right? So let's pick somebody besides Jennings who you've enjoyed watching play, or what they've done this year or their entire career.
I mean, you got Callaway. He's certainly exciting to watch. A ball gets thrown up to him, and I've got confidence he'll go up and get it.
I think they should have thrown more 50-50 balls to him this year.
Yeah, but the first part of the season, we had so little confidence throwing the ball down the field. Batuli and Taylor on the defensive side of the ball, playing hard, playing hurt, grinding it out. You needed a play made, and those guys would step up and make a play. But just like you said, this whole senior class has been through so much stuff, and to still be grinding and giving their all, it is one of those things. When you kind of stop and think about it, you do kind of take for granted and overlook the impact of these guys until they are no longer playing for the university, and you do miss them. It's that's what makes college football special. That's what makes it, in my opinion, better than the NFL. These guys are playing not just for themselves, but for the name on the jersey, on the side of the helmet, on the front of the jersey. And this is the state university. That's why there's such a connection across the state to Tennessee. That's why it's important to go into the game Saturday and just beat down Vanderbilt, especially after the last couple of years, man. That's what I want to happen Saturday for this senior class, because this class has not beaten Vanderbilt.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that.
That's unreal.
Think about the names that we've talked about. The last 3 years. Yeah. That's what this game is to me Saturday. It is going to be special. We get to see some of these guys for the last time in Neyland. But yeah, it's a little bit of redemption, and I'm not going to allude to my pick yet, but I think these guys are going to show up and show out big time this Saturday.
Did you even answer my question? You're like a politician.
No, I said Callaway on the offensive side of the ball, and
I just need an answer put in the fill in the blank.
I said Batuli and Taylor on the defensive side of the ball.
So you kind of went with the same answer that you gave me for who had the most impressive turnaround. You just said all of the above.
Oh my gosh! You want me to give you a special teams player too, and the water boy?
I just wanted one. You gave me 17. What about you, JP? Any particular senior that stands out to you?
Well, since I can't say Jennings, I mean, come on now. I can't even use Jennings. Really, probably.
Oh, I was excited, Dauber.
The same three that Dauber mentioned. Really, I mean, who else am I going to say? Tyler Bird.
No, pick one. Pick one. What's up, Mastodon?
All right,
okay, I'll go.
I'll pick Daniel Batuli.
That was my answer. Now who am I going to pick?
Well, then I'll pick Nigel Warrior. Okay, just because I thought that he was going to be just as good as his dad was, and I've been on his case for three and a third years, and then finally the last 2/3 of his career he turns it around, and he's playing at a all-American level. Really, I mean, he is.
Yeah, for me it's Batuli, man. It's no question about it. Next to Jennings, I think he's the most special player on this team. And I think we see that when he's not in the game, how crucial he is to getting everybody lined up, to getting the play calls in. And then not only that, but once the play starts and you just go play football, the kid, how many double-digit tackle games has he had this year? He's in on every play. And I hope Henry T playing side by side with him all season long. We can already see that Henry T is going to be special, but I think it's going to benefit him getting to play so much with the Batuli this year.
Let me throw this out there too, and I know I'll probably get a whatever from you, but go back to those first two games. Who wasn't out there?
Batuli.
Oh yeah,
Batuli.
Yeah.
Not saying that would have made a difference, but to the things that you just said, the importance of lining people up and just balling out. Could it have changed the outcome? I don't know, but he definitely was missed those games.
Yep. Yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah, I mean, we've said on here before that if Garantano would have just played halfway decent, that we'd have won those first 2 games. But who's to say if Batuli hadn't been out there those first 2 games that we could have still won anyway? I mean that defense was absolutely horrible against Georgia State.
Yeah,
but I really wonder where this team would be though if that was the case. I really wonder where they would be if they had won those first 2 games. It's one of those things we'll never know the answer to.
Yeah,
and how much did those first 2 games and the growing experience and going through that in Pruitt's second year are going to benefit these young players in the long run, seeing what it takes?
Well, you hope it does a lot.
Yeah.
You hope.
Yeah. I mean, it could have been a completely different story, though. You ride into the game against Florida 3-0 with momentum. Sometimes that can carry you through a game, get you to the next week. But that's all ifs and buts. And you know what they say about that? If it were candy and nuts, it'd be Christmas all year. So, I mean, let's not live in the past. Let's talk about Saturday. Let's talk about little brother down the road in Middle Tennessee.
Well, did you guys see before we'll get there? And this is about, I don't know, it's not really about Saturday, but it is Senior Day. Brandon Kennedy, did you see that he's not participating in Senior Day because he's holding out? Once that's huge. Bringing him back, and then the 2 freshmen, offensive 5-star linemen. That is 3 guys that are solid on that offensive line. What would you do if Big Trey said he was coming back?
I mean, I'd probably do a dance.
Well, right here live on air. Never say never, man. Never say never. I don't blame him for wanting to go, but my goodness, man, what would that mean to this team?
I mean,
it'd be huge.
The kid's an absolute just beast out there. I mean, it's really amazing what he's been able to do with as little as practice. And, and that's the whole question with him. That's the whole question, is how is his condition going to translate to the NFL?
I heard somebody talking about it. I don't remember if it was on the VolQuest podcast. They were talking about it, saying that, hey, he's got the benefit of going to the NFL and saying, okay, look, I've done this for a full season. Here's my doctor. Here was our game plan. Here's how we went through practice. He's proven he can do it. And yeah, the NFL is different than college, but the SEC is still proving something. He's got a track record showing that he can make it work.
Yeah, but what's he going to have to do? I mean, because he's going to have to go through camp, and it's going to be a whole new system.
Yeah.
So if he's not able to participate in contact during camp and during practice, so then basically he's got 4 preseason games, to try to make the squad. I don't know. I mean, it's just. But I mean, there's no doubt about it that the kid is a first-round talent. I mean, somebody, if they can figure out a way to get him to learn the system and be able to bring him along, somebody's going to have a guard that's just going to just absolutely just be just a mauler.
Have they ever said why he avoids the contact? I know what the issue is. But
supposedly it's the
has to do with the medicine he's on.
Medicine, yeah. Something to do with that they've got it worked out to where if he avoids the contact, I think, and I don't know exactly how it all works, but supposedly he starts back on the cycle of that medicine like on that Sunday after the game. And then by the time he takes it, he's off of it by like Thursday or Friday. And then that allows his body to adjust so he can play on Saturday. So it's something to do with that.
Okay. Well, let's transition into the Vanderbilt game. I don't have a whole lot to really say about this because I got a one-track mind this week, boys. Let's talk about Dauber's giveaway first. What are you doing this week? What are you going to give away?
We're going to give away some stickers again. Last regular season game, I'm going to throw together more than just 1 or 2 of them. So we're going to keep it. I've enjoyed the pick the score because it seems like we get more people giving a guess on that. So come back after we wrap it up here tonight and leave a comment with your pick for the Vandy score. And that's it.
Are you guys concerned? I'm not concerned in the least. The least. Not at all. Now, I would have been concerned if they had lost to Missouri and everything was on the line. I would be concerned about the mindset of this football team. But I think the way they finished, they got it done. I don't think Vanderbilt wants any. I think, like you said, these seniors are not going to go out on a loss to Vanderbilt. Regardless of the bowl game, they're not going out with a loss to Vanderbilt. Period. End of story.
Well, that's this is 3 years of pent-up frustration. You got these players for Vandy. I've seen a couple of tweets the last couple of weeks. Even while they still had Georgia and Florida to play, they're tweeting about how they're going to beat Tennessee and tweeting about this is their state and all of this. And then you got their fans that always want to turn the power T upside down and all of that. It's about as bad as Memphis in basketball and their fan base. They play the games on the field and on the court for a reason. We should beat Vandy every time we go out on the field. We have better talent, usually have better coaches. I think Mason was probably a better coach than Butch, or at least he did more with the players that he had than Butch did in terms of development and getting them ready. But those days are over. I think that Pruitt, we didn't play very well last year, but I think we were still cycling out that mentality and the culture of losing that we were so ingrained with the previous staff. You look at the last 3 years, we've been outscored 125-72 against Vanderbilt. But they don't have enough to even have a chance Saturday to compete. Very, very little passing game on their side. Their secondary is horrible. If Garantano can come out and continue that hot hand that he had on the road last week at Missouri, oh man, he is going to light them up. I would like to see the running game going, because that's the one thing that I've had concern about the last couple of weeks, and we've not done anything to show that it is there or getting any better, which is funny because our line is pass blocking. They are keeping Garantano up off the ground, giving him pass pockets and lanes to throw. But we're just not getting that ground attack going. That said, Vandy does have a chance to run the ball a little bit. That's kind of been their go-to in games that they've rushed for over 150. They're 3-1. However, I don't think they're going to run against us. We've only had 3 teams that we've given up 150 yards to. You guys want to guess who those are?
We've only given up to 3 teams?
3 teams, 150 plus.
This year?
Yeah.
Probably Georgia State's one of them.
Yep.
Florida?
Nope. Georgia State, keep it in Georgia with Georgia.
Georgia, yeah.
And Kentucky. So I think our run defense is going to be there. Like I said, I don't think they've got any chance to throw the ball.
That's the only player that they got's the running back.
Yeah.
Keyshawn Lawrence, or what's his name? Keyshawn Vaughn.
Yeah. So I just, like I said, this team, these seniors, they are the last game in Neyland for some of these guys. Man, I don't see any chance of them keeping it close. What is it? 3 touchdowns? Isn't that what the?
That's what I heard earlier when it came out there Sunday. Was a 21-point favorite?
Yeah, I think it's more than that. I think we lay it to them.
You gonna put money on that, Dauber?
Are you going to bet against it?
No, I am not betting on the Vols anymore. I bet on them. I predicted them to cover the spread against Georgia State. We saw how that turned out. I'm done betting on the Vols.
UT Tanner drops a $2 super chat. Thanks for the support. He says, "This is our state. Beat the holy crap out of Vandy." I wish we could get that trending. Thanks for the support, Tanner. We appreciate it.
Back to that. I this team, and I've said it since really the Mississippi State game, the focus and the way that they've played has been trending up, and they're going to finish with 7 regular season wins this Saturday in Neyland.
JP, are you not confident, buddy?
Yeah, I am confident because I just don't think, like Dauber was saying, I don't think
it's not UAB. So yeah, he's confident.
yeah. I just don't think players like Jennings and Batuli and Warrior that they're going to let their final game in Neyland, senior season, to lose to Candy. And like Dauber said, I mean, as hard as it is to believe that this senior class has never beaten that bunch. I mean, that is unreal to believe that this senior class has never beaten this Vanderbilt football team. It's just crazy to me to even think that, growing up as a lifelong Vol, to think that we're on a 3-game losing streak to those turkeys in five of the last 7 years, I think. I mean, it's just unreal that we've struggled that bad with them, but they are a bad football team. Tennessee is on the rise. It's just been a phenomenal turnaround. I think that Tennessee will come out ready to play. I think that they'll come out focused. Can they play a complete game because they have failed to play one all year long? That's probably unlikely that it'll happen. There's also some weather forecast Saturday, saying that there's supposed to be possibly some pretty good rain during that time. So that's a wild card there. As far as score prediction goes, I'm going to go Tennessee 38, the Candy Commodores 10.
I guess JP's ready to wrap the show up. We're going right into score predictions.
Is that not what we were doing?
Sure, we can wrap.
I thought we were doing predictions.
We can wrap it up. This has been. I can never leave my camera off again. It's like the show has gone completely off the rails because I turned my camera off. One knot. I think I agree with Dauber. I would like to see the running game get going at this point. I don't even know if I care anymore. Just let Chaney come out and sling it all over the yard. Let Garantano throw for 400 yards again. I think Tennessee dominates from beginning to end. They may not play a complete game, but I think we see them execute better than they have all season long. I think it's going to be as a complete of a game that we will see. Vanderbilt has no prayer. You're making me change my score. I've got Vandy scoring 10. I was going to say 34-10. I'll stick with 34-10 Tennessee.
I could see that.
I just think we're going to finally see a game where we're not stressed. We're not texting and yelling at each other. Your face isn't blood red in the third quarter because you're so daggum stressed out you can't see straight. I think we're finally going to be able to sit down, watch a game, and enjoy it.
Hey, I would take that. I'd take that in a heartbeat. No one special saying, here's the question, does Jennings get to 1,000? What's he need? Is it 117? Is that what it is?
If he needs to 117, I'd throw it to him every time until he gets it. Which that's what I said last week. Just throw it to Jennings every freaking play, man.
speaking of Jennings,
No
cool,
special.
cool,
How many yards does Jennings need? You know, buddy?
cool little thing that I caught just before we came online. Have you all heard this? Pruitt said in a radio interview, I guess midweek, or no, it is midweek, maybe yesterday, that his wife Casey is pushing for their baby girl, who is due in January,
Oh no!
to be named Jennings.
Wow.
Juwan Jennings needs 114 yards.
He's got it.
He's got it. He's got it.
Yeah.
What's he going to get in the second half?
What are you talking about? That's just the first quarter.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Man, since you guys have thrown out your score, I'll throw out mine.
JP's fault.
Like I said, 3 years of pent up frustration, having to listen to these Vandy fans, having to listen to Derek Mason, that loudmouth
prick.
Yeah. Go on about everything. It's they're gonna put the pedal down, and I hope they don't let off of it all game. I mean, granted, my score isn't that much far off from JP. I've got 41-10. I think
that's what I almost changed mine to when JP made his pick.
I think that they are going to make a statement. They're going to get some redemption. They're going to get some payback, and I think they're going to show that Tennessee football has turned that corner. I think you're going to get a complete game. We played a couple of games that were close to a complete game, but we've really not played that, all across the board. We've still had a couple of stupid penalties or a couple of turnovers. I just like Boogie said earlier, Vandy doesn't have a prayer. I mean, the closest that this game is right now before it kicks off.
Well, I think we're about to wrap things up. Just to communicate with you guys what's going on, obviously we'll have the post-game show Saturday immediately following the Vanderbilt game. Moving forward from there, it's going to be the basketball show during the week. Look for the events on YouTube. They pop up once we create them. It'll be sometime during the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. The guys need to iron out a schedule. And that's what we're going to do until the bowl game arrives. Once the bowl game arrives, we'll do a Wednesday show before the bowl game, and then we'll do the post-game show, probably a tailgate show. We'll communicate with you guys exactly what is going on there. Don't be surprised if you see some videos popping up, maybe about recruiting, maybe about bowl preparation. We will be posting videos. The live stream is going to be focused towards basketball until we get to the bowl game, and then we'll move forward from there. A reminder, opening weekend next season, we will be doing a meet and greet in the Tri-Cities area. Once the details are ironed out, we will let you guys know. Joseph Givem 6 Watts drops a $5 super chat. Thanks for the support. He says, love the show, guys, and happy holidays. Same back to you, Joseph. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Don't take this time for granted. Spend some time with your family tomorrow, wife, kids, parents. Spend time with those that you love because you're going to miss them when they're gone.
Absolutely.
So, happy Thanksgiving to all of you guys. We will see you Saturday immediately following the game. JP, anything you want to say before we get out of here?
No, just happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We appreciate the support. Let's come back Saturday, celebrate a big victory over the Vanderbilt Commodores.
Dobber, anything you want to say before we hit the road?
Yeah, I just throw it out there, kind of a shout out to the Basket Vols. They are 5-0 right now. The Lady Vols are, I believe, 6-0. Football team hasn't lost since October. We're killing it in November. Let's keep rolling.
Vols play Friday night against Florida State. Big test.
Yep, big game right there. Yeah, just same thing. happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Enjoy it. Break out the sweatpants, and we'll see you Saturday after the big number 7W.
For Vols JP, for Dobber Greer, my name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.
On without him. The songs howl like beat, poets at an RJ, soaking moonlit falls, unbroken past this inundated orb that we call home, and it's night and I'm alone and I'm alive. Black and white headlights pierce patrols, blazing arrows, burning me to the marrow. But fire brings peace as well as it brings fear. You're the only thing I hear, and I want that. The songs howl like me, poets at an RJ, soaking moonlit falls, unbroken past this inundated orb that we call home, and it's night and I'm alone and I'm alive.